artificial intelligence is getting so good that your clients are starting to trust you less. Think about that for 1 second. You installed chatbots, you automated your WhatsApp messages, you even automated calls. And now new clients are wondering, is this even a real store? Is this a real person behind these calls? Am I going to get scammed? I am an AI consultant for several businesses, and we noticed something inside each one of those businesses during the last months. And this is very important for you if you have your own store, your own brand, or your own incoming leads. Our current customers close fast, faster than ever, really fast. Recurrency is elevated, but new customers are starting to distrust the business. Even with 10K to 30, 50K followers and social proof with commentaries and reviews in Google, because AI is sounding human, and when everything sounds too human, nothing feels real at all. So we were trying to find a solution, and here's what changed everything. We kept AI in the loop, but when we get a pre-qualified client, we start jumping on a quick video call with them with a real operator. Our closing rate spiked. The confidence was returned, the trust locked in, and sales closed. This is real, guys. But that created another problem. How do you go back to classics with today's team? How do you build a professional sales structure for your team without having to pay thousands of dollars for a high-end sales consultant? So today I'm going to show you a small solution that we are actually implementing inside of all of these businesses. We are building a custom AI sales expert that is going to help us give our closing team a sales script, but not something generic, something real from our Shopify data, the industry that we're working for, and a kind of profile of who our clients are. So let me start by giving you some context. As every other business, we work with a funnel, right? So here's what's happening. We have about 1,000 messages that are incoming through several channels, from ads, from social media, and from direct referrals that are coming into the businesses. What's happening is that we get all of these into a layer of pre-qualification with our AI engines, because there is some people that only want some prices, there is some people that only want to know where are we located, and there are some people that are just nagging and annoying, right? We have a pre-qualification place with some special AI so we know which one have real interest. When that happens, that goes into a custom messaging CRM that we have set up for our clients. And that goes here. So each one of those clients that is pre-qualified, they get now picked up. And this is what's working for one of our team members. And these team members right here, they take those calls and they make the sales. So from all of these clients that we have, maybe 1,000 messages every day, we are really narrowing down, but we're not losing sales because this team right here is attending the ones that has the highest prospect of buying or need the more attention because there is no trust with these clients and they need to have trust built to be able to buy. We already have a profile of which are the ones that are going to be buying from us, but it's always very important to have a system, and every system is custom. It's not going to work the same for every business. Where's the problem? Well, the problem is that these guys right here, they don't know what to say. So what we're trying to do using the latest technology is get all of this data right here and feed it into an AI system that is going to prepare for us a way for our team to document and have standardized script questions or a way of behavior for them to be able to attend to each one of these possible customers. And this is really going to spike our sales. Did it work already? Yes, it already did. But right now, what we want to do is we want to optimize this process using the AI technology, so our time in this phase right here is much less. That way, we're going to be able to narrow down the output to make a little bit more money, but also we want to have better customer satisfaction. Even if the customer does not buy, even if that call is not successful, at least in this way, we know that the client is going to know is really us. We are really a team, and there is really a human machinery behind all of it, because right now AI is getting so good that it's becoming impersonal, and that is starting to be a real problem in the industry. So, current problems: there is no unified sales script, no structured objection handling, no consistent closing framework. Some agents close well, some agents just don't. And the trust is fragile, is inconsistent, and it's very expensive. So instead of hiring a traditional sales expert, we decided to build one. This is a very good solution because it's going to allow us to give an immediate response to the bunch of clients we have, and it's going to help them to build a little bit more their teams before bringing an expert. So they're going to burn less time and they're going to have better overall results. Basically, to be able to build this system, what we want to do is we want to feed it with our product knowledge, what is it that we're selling, and how are we going to sell it. We're going to feed it with a bunch of documents for our sales, so he knows how is the business behaving from our catalog, what are people buying the most, and we are going to feed it with real customer behavior. So we're going to put a bunch of conversations that we have recorded, and we're going to feed it into this bot. There are systems where you can do this. Those are specialized systems, CRM systems, but they are really expensive. And right now, what we're looking for is for a feasible solution that is going to allow us to save some money, but feed this engine and have something that we can start up with. Basically, an MVP, a minimal value product AI sales assistant. And what this is going to help us do is training our closing team, the ones that are actually taking the calls from those clients that have best perspective to buy in each one of the businesses, and give them some kind of top level preparation. I'm not saying this is a perfect solution. I'm not saying this is a definitive solution, but you could do this for your business today if you follow this video and know a little bit about artificial intelligence. So the first part about where are we going to build this expert, this person that we're doing, right, is its brain. Where are we going to build its knowledge? What is this guy or this AI going to know? So the first thing that we want to do is find a place where we can go and put documents and add documents to it in a way that is always going to be growing as we progress into the business. So that's the first thing that we wanted to do. Some place that we can find that we can add a bunch of data, but we can also find professional data from research that is going to help us. But we don't want generalized data. We want to make data that is specifically for our kind of business. And we are going to use NotebookLM to build that brain. Basically, NotebookLM is an AI research system. And the difference of NotebookLM with every other LLM like ChatGPT, like Gemini, like Claude, like Perplexity, is the fact that when you're going to make a research with NotebookLM, you only limit those responses and those research to the knowledge base that you give it. That is spectacular for what we want, because we want this to be a really specialized agent. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into Notebook lm.google, and we're going to hit try Notebook LM. As you can see here, I use it quite a lot. I have a bunch of brains built for me, but right now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new one. So if you click here in create a new notebook, you're going to be able to make a blank notebook like you see here. I'm not going to run you through the entire system of Notebook LM. That's not what we're doing today, but I'm going to be telling you a couple of little pearls that you should be saving up, okay? So basically the first thing that you're going to see here is that you can add new sources of knowledge, but from research on the web. So what I'm going to advise you is for you to find the sources that are very, very specific for your kind of business. So I'm adding a simple prompt. Closing sales technique for wholesale perfume using WhatsApp digital channel, especially WhatsApp direct messages, video call. I'm looking for sales experts advice to get the client to close on the sale. Objections, management, sales openers, trust building techniques that I can use to train my team to be a VIP level wholesale closers on the wholesale international perfume industry. This is an actual business case, especially closing and selling in Latin America, Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. And one of the things that I want you to take a look here is that I'm going to select from this drop down from fast research. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to choose deep research. That is going to allow the system to go and look further into the actual knowledge that I'm trying to find. So I'm going to click this blue arrow button right here, and that is going to take actually a bunch of time. He's going to go into a planning phase on the research. He's going to ask me what I want to do, and then I'm going to approve this, and I'm going to tell him, okay, go and bring me my data. Very well, and now it's been like 5 minutes and Notebook LM have brought me a bunch of documents that he found from the internet. So what we can do is just click on import. He's going to bring all of those documents directly into our notebooks. Now we have a bunch of documents that are going to tell us how to close, the techniques to close, and we brought all of these with a simple prompt, and now I have given it a name, and I have inside of this what are the techniques to sell perfumes in wholesale. And remember that I told you that we were going to run through a couple of things in Notebook. Stay until the end because you're going to love what we're going to do to be able to support our team and give them the best information possible. Now, we have the first data, but what happens is if now I want to have our custom sales data. I particularly downloaded the data from Shopify from the last 30 days of sales, and I'm going to feed it into the system. The way that I want to do that is preparing the data into a CSV file or a Google Sheets, which is also compatible to this and is very cool because it is dynamic. What you could do in this part of the process is taking this from an actual Google Sheets document that you have connected to an automation. For example, it's very easy to do it with Shopify and Make if you have that kind of technical knowledge or somebody that can do it inside your company. So what happens is that Shopify, your actual platform that you have here, is always going to be feeding that Google Drive Sheets, and that data is always going to be leaking into your brain, and in that way every time that you're going to make a new question is going to be updated with your latest sales data. So as you see, we are building step by step a real complex and powerful automation. If you don't have somebody that can make a make integration into your system, don't worry about it, because anyway, you can just copy paste the data, go to Shopify, go to your system, just tell it to give you the data in CSV. He's going to be able to make it, or you can load it manually into this sheet that you have right here, and that is just going to work. So this means that from my entire setup, I already have my Shopify, which was the first one that we did, and now I have my product's actual sales. So this is done and this is done. And I'm loading right now a final document that is just a history shot that I have in a TXT file that I'm loading, that it is our customers' back and forward responses. And I'm loading that into a single system. Who is going to be this system that I have here? Where are we going to put all of those knowledge? What is going to be our container? So for this exercise, our container is going to be Google Gemini. And Google Gemini has an incredible tool which is called Gems. Basically, a gem is the same thing as a GPT, meaning it's a custom trained assistant that it has all of the knowledge from the LLM, but also resides and decides on the data that you feed it to be able to answer your questions. To create a new gem, you go into the Gemini page in your browser and you go right here into this thing that is called Gems. You click on it and you're going to be able to see the gem manager. This is where you make your gems. So the button that you're going to be looking for is this one that it says new gem with the plus sign next to it. You click on that and now you got here an interface where you're going to create your gem. Let's give it a name, Wholesale Perfume Expert. And let's give it a description, a VIP level expert in perfumes sales. Now, as you can see, we have two different settings for this gem that we're building. The first one is instructions, and the second one is the knowledge, which is the files that we have been working before. What we're going to do to add those files to the system is we are going to add them using this plus button right here. So we're going to click on that, and he's going to ask what kind of knowledge or what kind of documents we want to add to the gem for her to have the knowledge that is going to use to make custom responses. So remember, right now we have a bunch of files. We have files from Drive, which are going to be interactive files, meaning that as long as I'm changing those files are going to be actually growing with my gem. And I have a NotebookLM book or brain, which is containing all of the knowledge, the generalized knowledge that I'm going to use for my team. So the first thing I'm going to add is that NotebookLM. Automatically, when I click on Notebook, he's going to open this pop-up window and it's going to show me the books that I have created. So I'm going to pick the one that we just did for this exercise. I'm going to click again Add Source and I'm going to click Add from Drive. So that's going to be added there, and I'm going to add my conversations with my clients. So right now my system is almost ready. I'm just missing one thing. I have my products, my sales, I have my customers' conversations, and now I'm missing my instructions. Remember that I told you we need to add a custom set of instructions that we are going to be giving to the system so he behaves in a certain way. So the custom instructions for any level 1 prompt are 1, the role, 2, the specialization, and 3, the task. So these 3 elements are going to be building a level 1 prompt. This is the most simple prompt that you can build. And if you do not have these 3 elements inside of your prompt, it's very possible that your AI or your LLM starts failing. So now let's put that into practice. We're going to put a role. You are or act as, those 2 keywords are perfectly valid. You are an expert in wholesale digital marketing conversion on digital channels, specialized on the perfume wholesale market for Latin America, and this is important. You can add several roles and several specializations into the same prompt as long as they are compatible to what you want to do. Don't try and mix too much stuff. Always keep it really narrowed down, and the more you can divide your task in different AIs, the better. it avoids the hallucination inside of the engine. And one of the things that I really like about building a gem is that Google has added this very nice button here. So once you have your main prompt in the way that we talk about structuring it, click that. He's going to rewrite your instructions using the knowledge of prompt engineering that is in the database of the actual Google systems. So now you can come here and take a look at your purpose, what you want to do, what is the system, and always review your prompt. It is important to always take a look at your prompt. Once that you have your instructions set up, your name, your description, what you got to do is click right here on the top right corner of the gem pop-up generator, click save. He's going now to build your gem. He's going to tell you that it is created, and now we can just start chat and test the system. So what you're going to be seeing is this screen that is actually going to allow you to talk to that expert. So now I can say, give me a top level script that I can rely to my closing team to close sales on the first call on a new lead. And one more thing, always remember to change it from fast to thinking. I find that kind of important. So click submit, and he is going to look into all of the knowledge that we added today, all of the research, and he's going to go look into our conversations. He's going to look into our actual data, and he's going to give us a proper response. So let's take a look at some of the responses that come inside of this script, which are very good. So the pattern intro, first 10 seconds of the conversation. Hello, this is Closer Name from XS Perfumes in Miami. Truthfully, this is our first contact, but I've been reviewing you're interested in the wholesale market and I wanted to be brief. Then you can decide if it makes sense to continue. Does that sound fair? So when they call to the client, this is what they're going to say. Take a look at the second one. Relationship building and discovery. I see you are looking to expand in X country. Before we talk inventory, I want to ensure your business model is protected. Are you currently working with a freight funder, or do you need me to provide a list of trusted partners? So this is very good because it shows that we're trying to find solutions before making the sale. As you can see, he actually knows about which are my products, where are my clients calling from, what are they doing, and what is what they are asking the most inside of my actual business. If I want to talk again with these gems, there is no need for me to keep writing on this chat. I can just click on my gems, I go to my wholesale perfume expert, and I'm going to see the chats that I already did with it, but I can see that I can start a new chat. So for example, I want a trust creation and closing script for incoming clients that ask for the video call. And I want 5-question interaction, max 10 minutes, that definitively for new clients, close, get the context on sales, product volumes, and knowledge from the documentation before answering. This is a very good response, very exact on what my closing team has to learn to be able to make that closing in that WhatsApp video call. So it's going to establish authority, build trust and technical transparency, and close the activation of the wholesale in under 10 minutes. And it has a number of questions that we are going to be doing to the client. So if you take a look, each one of these questions is very important because it's going to determine the level on which the client is. It's validating that he has a business, that he can make the investment. We only activate 5 new wholesale accounts per day to ensure priority shipping. If the number and authenticity are 100% clear right now, are you ready to authorize the first shipment today? So this is a perfect way of having an expert in anything that you want inside of your company. Maybe it is not sales, maybe it is fulfillment, customer satisfaction, maybe returns. It can be anything, but in this way, you're able to build any kind of expert for a top-level consultancy using free artificial intelligence tools. And remember that I had a surprise for you at the end? Well, it turns out that NotebookLM has a couple of other surprises for us that we can actually use. You can come to the studio tool in the right. So you're going to be seeing audio overview, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcards, quiz, which you can use to actually train and quiz your team to see if they're doing or they're reading the documentation that you're giving them. But there is a very interesting one that I, as a graphic designer, like the most, which are the infographics. If we come to the infographic cards and we hit the small pencil, we're going to be able to customize the infographic that we're asking for. In this case, I'm going to leave it in English. I'm going to put it in landscape. What I want to do is I want to say, I want you to build a 3 stages phase of the client journey on incoming leads that want to buy a wholesale order or perfumes from Miami to Latam. I need each stage subdivided in 3 parts that show the progression, possible referrals, the answers, and the roadmap of how to navigate those objections as a closer in a video call with the client. So this is very specific for my case. I'm just going to hit generate, and you're going to wait for a little bit for him to look at all of your sources and generate this infographic. You can have an infographic of procedures that you are supposed to follow when you're doing a recipe inside of your restaurant. Or maybe you can have a system that your front desk attendants in your dental clinic is going to follow to make sure that your customer comes again for a regular checkout. You can use this kind of technique for anything you want. You can build an entire brain, an entire system that not only is going to talk to you using the Gemini app, but also is going to be able to give you the material for you to study all of this knowledge that your sales team or your cooking team or your client attention team or your fulfillment team is going to learn. So basically you can come here and build as much experts as you want. And I will really tell you to go in and use the rest of the studio, because we could actually make a video from each one of these. They are that powerful. The quiz, the flashcard, the mind maps, the audio overview, the podcast, the video, each one of them is an incredible tool for you to learn and study what you wanna have from these custom-made AI experts that you can now have working inside of your system. And one of the best things about this is that once that you build the Gemini Gems, you can actually share them using a simple link with your team. So they have it on their phones. And if they have any kind of questions, they can just go in, type quickly, and it will respond to them as they go. And take a look at this beautiful infographic that he just made for us in the 3-stage perfume journey from Miami to Latam via video call. He's actually telling us what's the part that we're going to be doing, how to interrupt the pattern, how to start the calls, what you gotta be showing, what you're going to be telling them, what you're going to be doing for the possible refusals. The custom duties in my country are too high. What is the answer? What is the read map? Everything that you need to do. And if you just need to customize this, you can make it as simple as you want or as complex as you want, and he's going to give you these beautiful infographics that your team are going to be able to handle inside of your office for you to have these different guides that you can actually use. You are no longer depending on random talent. You are building an institutional intelligence. Your new sales agent can now learn from your data, your patterns, and your real performance. And instead of hiring a sales consultant for thousands of dollars, you are building one. And the more data you feed it, the smarter it's going to become. So if you are a small business owner and your team is drowning in messages without a system, or you have a lot of problems in any kind of department inside of your business, this is your next move. Build your own AI experts. Start with the knowledge and the numbers and turn it into a trainer for your team. And this is just version 1. In the next videos, I'm going to show you how to refine the prompts, how to optimize the closing scripts, the generation scripts, how to have your own content creator, and much more. Remember, artificial intelligence is not a replacement, it's a companion. So learn how to use it, subscribe to my channels, and as I always say, be good, be creative, go build your own expert, and I will see you later.